All right, yo, what's up, y'all? Today I'm joined with one of my closest friends, Noah Evans, second lieutenant in the United States Army. He's graduated from the University of South Florida. Yes, sir. Let him know your major.
Marketing, specifically pre-marketing when it started. By the way, they took that major away while I was here, so now it's just a marketing degree.
Okay, bet, man.
It's weird, but that happens.
Yeah, man, and just overall guy, and I want to say too, the sponsorship king. I mean, this man could get sponsorships like crazy. So, I mean, like, if I'm missing anything else,
man. I mean, I'm a general buffoon. I'm just happy to be back here, dude. Like, seriously. No, I'm not happy to be back.
You're the first guest, actually, to come back onto the podcast.
Return?
Yes, to return. Yes, sir. You are the first guest to return back to the podcast, so I'm real happy to have you.
Dude,
I'm real happy to have you back, man.
Yeah.
Man, and let's get right into it. Let's get right to the meat.
Sure.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about leadership and having confidence as a leader because, man, bro, I see so many people that don't have confidence as a leader. Like they think they have confidence, but it's false confidence, and which is ego, right? And so I kind of want to talk about that. It's either false confidence or it's ego. Sometimes it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
And so I really just want to talk about that today, and then I also want to talk about how to get sponsorships. If everybody's watching this video, and just to give some background. So in ROTC, right? And this man was on our staff. This man was able to get sponsorships out of like nowhere. Like we're I think for the golf tournament or whatever, man was able to get us a sponsor to get out there and
a few.
A few. He's been humble, y'all. He's been humble.
No.
Man. So I really want to talk about that. So if anybody's looking to get sponsors, I mean, this guy has done it very successfully, bringing actual real money to the program, and so I really just want to get into it. But let's start with the first question.
Sure, dude.
And the question is like, as a leader, what is the difference between confidence and ego?
Man, that's a good question. Confidence and ego. First, I want to just start off by defining ego because I think the term gets thrown around a lot. It's almost like the GOAT conversation. Everyone, goat this, goat that. Is like there's a reason why there's only one.
Yep.
Right. I mean, the way that I look at ego is this, man. Ego is like it's a package of how you look at yourself. It's like how you assess your own skills, how you think you'd go and do something, right? And it often has a negative connotation. You know, in sports as well as I know, and even in like business, class, working with people, even in ROTC or in the Army, ego there's a certain healthy level of it because you don't want someone who's completely void of confidence. You don't want someone who's completely void thinking that they can't do anything, right? That's a level of ego. Confidence is part of ego. So there is a healthy aspect to it. Right. So I don't think that people should just walk around and say, like, oh, don't have ego. I don't want to work with you. Oh, yeah. All right, sorry. My bad. I'm learning. I'm a rookie. You don't want to walk around and think that ego is a terrible thing. I think an unchecked ego, an ego that's wild, that's bad. And what does that look like? Well, to me, it's easiest to put like faces with names, but I'll leave faces out. Right. But there was one guy at my at summer training this last year, right? So you're gonna go,
yeah, that's gonna come in. Yeah, it's gonna be big. I'm ready. It's gonna
be fun.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, but no, we had this one guy, right? And shout out to my girl Kenzie. I just came up from UNC.
Yes, sir.
So, by the time she sees this, it'll be a while. But she's coming back down to Tampa, so I'm gonna show her around. But she knows who I'm talking about, and maybe some of the people in my platoon. This dude was a prior service. I won't say what branch. And he kind of like had an overestimate of what he understood and how to do it, right? So, but he would come up and talk to you and be like, "Hey, man, like I know doctrine like really well. Hey, bro, I know this and this really well. I might not know this all well." And you're like, "Okay, that's reasonable. Like if you say you know what you're good at, and then you tell me what you're not good at, we'll balance it out. We'll make it work, brother. Whatever you need, right? Maybe I'm more of a tactic guy with my experience, right? That's fine. I'll come help you out." Well, then we get out to situations, and all of a sudden he's a subject matter expert in everything. Right, he's telling like 80-second guys prior listed these other cats who have infinite more experience than me, and then just for me to be on that totem pole somewhere to be like this is how we're gonna do it. This is how and some of them be like, "Hey, bub, probably want to go about it this way. Yeah. Probably want to go." No, ego trumped everything, and it was his way, no critique.
His way or the highway.
Right, his way or the highway. Yeah. And I think that is where you go like, okay, that's a bad ego, right? Now another situation is this. someone who's very confident in what they're going to do may not need that feedback, but there are respectful ways to go about it. And that is, I think, the difference in what we talk about, right? So in that same context, right, let's just say this dude that I was talking about, he ran a mission, it went terribly. Is that surprising?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Because no one, by the way, when you have a huge ego, no one wants to work for you.
No, not at all.
No one wants to work with you. You might get that short-term, like, success, like, hey, man, like, you know, you'll hear them say, like, oh, I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, did they? Yeah, did they?
Dude, like, the biggest thing with that, too, is, like, you can't have your ego so big that no one else can fit in the room. Like,
that's true.
You don't want your ego to outgrow the room.
Right.
Because no one else can fit in it because your ego's so big.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. And that's what I'm saying. So, like, you had guys, like, pretty much giving up on this dude's lane, like, on this dude's mission because they were like, man, this guy is an a-hole. I don't want to work with him. I don't want to work for him. Then you had another guy who was very he was kind of like unsure of how well he was going to do. I saw the hard work and effort that he put in, so I was like, I think this guy's going to do fine.
Yeah.
Right? He worked with us. He came to us humbly and said, you know, like, hey, man, I'm pretty confident in X, Y, and Z. I need you guys' help in this. Okay. That confidence alone, I did not, anything he said he was good at, I trusted him.
Yep.
The rest of the other stuff we worked with him on, and he went out and he got some great evaluations.
Yeah.
Right. And the difference with that guy was the way that he handled feedback, even on the areas that he was really good at. He was like, hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for the feedback. I think I have a good understanding of it. I'll keep what you said in mind, and I'm just going to keep moving forward. Yeah. Right. And people go like, okay, I respect that. If you feel that confident in your plan, then go for it. Yeah. Right. Facts. There's no versus the other dude. He's like, no, shut up. I got this. And you're like, oh, okay, man.
Like, all right, here comes this guy.
Yeah. Everyone hated this dude, bro. He was like, I talk about, like, I think there was like 38 people in our platoon. He was 38, 37 or 38. Yeah. I'm not going to say my number because I hate it, but I hate bragging. Yeah, I hate bragging, man. But
I just want to say too is like with confidence too is you can also be confident in knowing what you don't know. Like, I'm confident I don't know that, so therefore can you please explain this to me? Yeah. Confidence is also saying I know what I know, but I also know that I don't know what I don't know.
Yes.
So I still have to rely on those that are, you know, below me, which really, I don't really see anybody as below me. I would say those that I work with and those who I work for. So I have to pull from both people, you know, to see, you know, just so I could become the best leader that I could possibly be. Yeah. And like, an example that I just went through this. So that hit me hard where you were like, yeah, you got to make sure you're asking people like what's going on. And I'm not an ego guy. I don't have an ounce of ego in me, but ego did show through in this scenario, right? So as you know, I'm the RA here. Yeah. For the LOC, and we had this event. We had cookout with the commanders. So all the commanders of all the units came here. Oh, okay. Yeah, and it was pretty cool, right? The event was a really still successful, pretty nice event, chill event. Yeah. But it could have been better. So we've been playing this event for about a month. Tell me why I went to go give this event to my residents the day before it was due. All right. Then I told my residents, yo, our budget is $50,000. Like, yo, this budget is $50,000. The budget isn't $50,000, by the way. I still got to get some clarity on what the budget is. All right. I think I want to say $5,000, but don't take my word on this. I'm probably 100% wrong still. But I told them that the moral of the story is I told them it was the wrong price, and I thought like truly that I was telling the truth. And I'm going to say, and that was confidence, but I'm going to say why it's confidence according to the definition that I have. But, but anyways, so I thought that, yo, this is the price. This is it. So this cookout is going to be really nice, really amazing. And then on top of that, it's cookout with the commander. So what do you think the attire is going to be for something like that?
A cookout? I mean, in my experience, man, they kind of let you go like a little less than business cash, but you still kind of like maybe you show up in like a polo or something like that. Maybe. Okay. Unless you're doing something athletic.
Okay, so maybe I wasn't too bad on the attire part, but it's still, I told my residents, y'all got to show up full business casual. So you got to have the polo, you got to have it tucked into the khakis. Yeah. You should have some pretty nice shoes. You're going to be with the commanders. And although, I mean, you can see where I probably thought that at, but it's still that was something that I came up with because I said, well, commanders, we're going to be the commanders. Let's do this. Instead, I should have asked in that moment, right? I shouldn't have had enough confidence to know, well, let me just check. Like this, I'm expecting it to be this, so expect this, but let me just verify, which is why we have that saying that we have in the Army is trust and verify. Let me trust and verify. Let me make sure that what I'm putting out is right. Yeah. Because this could ultimately, the mission could be failed off of this, or it could be success off of this. And I take that learning lesson a little bit. I got chewed out, by the way, by the gym LC for like 15 minutes. My first chew out session from someone other than my father and mother.
There'll be plenty on your line, man. Don't worry about it. I've gotten plenty.
Yeah, I have too, but it was.
Man, joke's so funny. HR wants to hear him, bruh. That's a whole. I don't know if you heard about that, but I'll talk to you offline. Not HR, but you know.
Nah, man, Master Sergeant at FTX was crazy. What are y'all doing? I was like, yeah, okay, y'all getting chewed out, and then Anyways, that was a whole fiasco.
Yeah, it was.
So I know I'm gonna get chewed out. I got chewed out so many times by my parents for an hour, literally hours. I'm not even joking.
Same. I told you about my dad before.
Yeah,
you stand there, you get lectured.
The word, bro. I'm telling you. But anyways, I got lectured for these 15 minutes, but I took this lesson bigger than what it was because I said, bro, I'm glad it happened to me now before any later when I get in these like more serious positions.
Okay, yeah.
But I said if this was real, and this is an actual mission, and we were supposed to go out and go do something or something like that, I couldn't have failed this mission simply because I wanted to go based off of my own understanding, and I didn't even want to make sure that what I had was right. And then on top of that, I even failed on communication because I gave him something that we've been planning for a month now, a day before it was happening.
Yeah.
And so all these moving parts that was going on, like it, that ultimately, I mean, the event was still nice. It still was pretty successful, but it could have been a lot better. And I could have like skipped the whole 15-minute like chew out session for it, Mm-hmm. So I still just kind of taking those little lessons from even like moments like that.
Yeah.
And I say that it was a little bit of ego because I was just going off of a whim, like, oh yeah, I think this is it. This is what it is, and then telling them like it was true, but it wasn't. And I probably, and who knows, maybe like deep down inside, I kind of knew a little bit like, that sounds a little bogus, but hey, this is what I was told. So, or at least this is what I thought I was told. So here you go.
Yeah.
So, I was taught better than that.
Well, I got two things, man. If you just let me hop in,
go ahead.
If I was your manager, man, like, and we have worked together, but I mean, like, there's a little bit of a gap just from the class separation.
Yeah.
But dude, let's just say they're like, hey, Noah, can you handle this situation for us? Like, yeah, man, I got you guys. So I'd sit you down. I'd be like, hey, man, I'm not like, the thing that I'm more concerned about is probably just like the fact that it got pushed out the day before.
Yeah.
That would be that's the one huge thing. And you already acknowledge it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
The dress code, man, that's less of an issue. I more or less, I just look at you and be like, hey, this goes into my second piece of advice. This is for everybody. We talk about this for lieutenants in the Army, but especially here, and you'll understand what I'm talking about when I say products. But like when you are put in charge of when you're newly put in charge of a project that's either continual, or it's a new project, or however you can go about it. If there is any pre-existing things, such as we call them products in the military, in the Army, or here, just like PowerPoints, like templates, anything like that, any advice anyone can give you that's done it before, who ran it before, you just go talk to them.
Yep.
And then they'll probably just give you everything they got. Most people are pretty cool. Like I have flight notebooks and stuff like that I've been giving out because, hey, I passed my SIFT. I got my aviation slot.
Sweet.
Right. Yes, so like, do I need any more? No, I have to go to that next level of flight. So like, I have to start learning the new stuff, not just how to pass the entry exam. Right.
Yep.
So turn around and hand that off. Right. All my marketing stuff, and we can get into that too. Like the sponsorship stuff is great. Yeah. I don't know if you know that I opened up the entire merch for us.
Nah.
Like I just Well, I don't want to say me because I say that, but it was like me and my department,
right.
And a lot of various artists and stuff like that, and we got a lot of help. But anyways, so all of that,
putting out responsibilities to other people who do it best.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I'm not an artist, man. I'm not an artist. I'm just a guy that they said be in charge of this. I said okay. I'm not really in charge, man. I just want good stuff for us to buy and sell. That's about it. But
100%.
No, man. Yeah, like don't hold yourself over the stupid stuff. I know what you're trying to say with like the accountability. If this is a real world mission, well, guess what? It's a training environment. It's okay to mess up, especially with something as stupid as dress code. The thing that I'd be concerned about, which you already handled, bro, is like, hey, just get it out sooner.
Right, it's 100%.
Get it out sooner. Schedule send.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing on it. Schedule send it.
Yeah,
so you don't think about it.
That's
you
true.
just Boom, 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Dude, right there, yep. That's 100%. That's so facts.
Yeah,
that's a fact. Bro.
Just little veteran advice, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I appreciate that.
I'm getting old, man.
Yeah, bro. And I want to talk on that a little bit. I think this is the perfect day and the perfect time for this kind of conversation. Is like, sure, take advice from others like that has already been through it and things like. And also, I want to let people know too is like, if you're in the field, if you're in something that you're trying to make space for, you're setting yourself as the expert in something. I don't really like the word expert because to me, expert means that you have perfected something to a level where no one else can really challenge you in. That's what I take from expert. And I may be 100%, please correct me. I could be 1,000% wrong, but that's what I kind of take from it. I want to say that because we are forever, we're human beings. We're creatures we always are learning. And so even if you are the expert in your field or whatever it may be, it's okay. Like you could still take advice because I guarantee you still mess up on that thing. I guarantee you.
You know, doctors still listen to nurses.
Yes,
because doctors don't put in IVs all the time. Shout out my mom.
Bam. Like, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Bam.
Bro. Like my mom will be like, dude, she's the first one to trash a doctor. She's like, all he's doing is signing the damn prescription.
Yeah,
like, that's all he's doing. Yeah, that's what he went to school to do. But it's okay. Like, take that advice. Exactly. Take that advice. It's free.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because that was actually going to be my next point. It's like, is doctors need nurse practitioners as much as nurse practitioners need doctors?
That's right.
The military, let's go into military. Like sure. You are, what is it? We need our enlisted personnel just as much as our enlisted personnel needs our officer personnel. Yeah. If we didn't need each other to learn off of each other and learn from our mistakes, there wouldn't be a need for this stuff. Yeah. If you're working a job, your boss needs you just as much as you need them. And you have to have enough like humility to accept that and know that like I'm going to mess up. Heck, my boss may mess up. There's something that I could give this person.
Right.
Even though they're at the top and it looks like they reached its pinnacle, there is even something that I can give them based off my experiences and based off things that I've learned that you may have never been able to see or understand from your own, your own bubble in your world.
A real example for that, please, everyone else use this because I put this on my resume because it's a great little job skill to have. Mm-hmm. When I worked at the City of Safety Harbor over in Pinellas, I had managers who had been there for I think over 30 years each of them.
Yeah.
Right. I worked for one directly, and then the other one was like a pseudo director for me. So these people knew the city like inside. Like you gotta understand, like before I was alive, kind of deal, right? Yeah. It's like that's insane. But you were working at this one spot for 30 years. They knew everything.
3 decades, bro. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. You know what they didn't think about in the entire time? Well, I'm sure there's plenty, and they'd probably sit here in the same.
Give it to me.
They didn't have peer evaluations.
Oh, wow.
A lot of job places actually really don't. You actually have like an evaluation given by the manager.
Holy crap,
but even still, that evaluation was given by your manager. And then like my boss was like an old school football coach. And he was just like, yeah, man, like you do your job. I gave you a great score. We re-raised your pay. I was like, wow, cool, man. Like, did I get any real feedback? No, it was just more like a check in the box. Like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Cool, man. But no, we had a situation come up and I was like, man, we like, in my career, like so far, definitely in the Army, definitely even in high school, like there were peer evaluations, bro. Yeah. Or at least some sort of accountability held by a locker room or, like a Microsoft, like if you're having Microsoft Teams with a school project team, like there's some sort of accountability. You're talking to somebody about something messed up.
Facts.
They didn't have peer evaluations. So I just decided I wrote it up. I wrote it because I pulled the template offline. Again, dude, use products that someone else has already made. I pulled one offline. I pulled from a lot of different examples. I made one. I drafted it up, put the whole little city seal on it, and gave it to my boss. I was like, can we use this? She was like, I love this idea. I don't have the authority to do it. You're going to pitch this to the department leader, like the recreation leader, like the director. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I was like,
that's big.
Oh, yeah. so I had to put together a PowerPoint and do it, man. So yeah, it was cool. And then she said like, it's a great concept, great idea. It would have to get pitched to the, it had to be a citywide adoption, and we'll have to pitch that in the next fiscal year. I was never there for that process, so I never actually got to like follow up on it. I ended up coming out here before that process happened. Sweet. But yeah, dude, like do stuff like that. If you see opportunities to advance yourself or just like make the business better, like I didn't look at that opportunity like this is how I impress my boss. Dude, no, I was like, bro, we have an incident where someone needs feedback badly and won't accept it from like a friendly pat on the shoulder. Yep. Hey, bro, you ain't doing too good. Like, you need to straighten up. Yep. They weren't taking it that way. So I was like, well, maybe a piece of paper will do it for you.
That's so. I want for y'all to understand something that he just did. And I talked about this in last I think it was on Thursday when I had the last guest of the podcast on. Is leaders are proactive, right? Yeah. They see problems before they even develop, or they see a problem and without anybody having to come to them about the problem, they are already working on that. Like you seen an issue and you seen an issue with all these people who's been doing this for forever. Like most people get in there and be like, what could I tell them? They've been doing this for longer than I've been alive. Yeah. How could I, they come with that mentality. And that's the mess up mentality come in. You still came in saying, you noticed something that needed to be fixed and you just simply fixed it. You said, hey, this is something that I think we can add to make this process a little bit easier, a little bit better, more accountable for other people. And who knows, like that organization, that part of that organization may be doing a lot better based off of something that you did because of you would being a proactive leader, you being a proactive guy. You was like, here's an issue, here's a solution. You can use it if you want to. It's all right, but you know what I mean. This is something that could help. You're
giving me flowers. I'm like, I don't like taking them, bro.
Man, it's so important because a lot of people, man. And, I haven't been in I've been in some pretty key leadership positions in the past. Yeah. And heck, I mean, even currently right now. Right. Yeah. But that's something I've seen all the time with people is like, they aren't proactive. They wait for stuff to come to them. Yeah. They wait for people to come to them about the issue, even though they already seen the issue develop. Yeah. But they wait. They say, well, I'm going to wait till they come tell me. And it's like, no, because if they come to you about something, it's probably already too late. Yeah. It already got to a point where it's out of control.
You know what sparked that though is like I came into work and the incident happened before I got there, so I didn't even get to see it. But I had 3 coworkers just be like, "Yo, man, like I'm definitely not gonna say names because
right.
They definitely know who they are.
No name dropping.
No. As soon as this camera goes off, I'll definitely tell you the name. No, but yeah, there was like 3 people that were just kind of, how like you have like that water cooler talk, but like people were like genuinely upset about this. Like people who were like they work with this person every day, and they were really like I took their word because they weren't like people who just complained all the time. I was like, oh man, like this seems like a real issue. So like, and they were like, man, I wish we could just like, I don't know, do something about it. And I was like, we can. Yeah. And I was like, we can. All right, cool. Let me write this up. You guys think it's a good idea? They're like, you do that for us? I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Just write it up. Yeah. If you help a team, I don't care. Yeah. I want feedback. Yeah. I want feedback on me. Like, dude, if you think I'm a bad worker, please let me know. Let me fix it.
How important is feedback? Well, I want to say this before asking the question. Okay. I want to give my opinion before asking the question. Actually, no. I think I want to see where you come from. Then I want to give my opinion. Okay. Why do you think feedback is so important as leaders, number one, but then as just growing human beings who wants to be successful?
The leader one's a little more difficult just because you have to remove yourself from it and you have to talk about leadership in a broad band. But why that feedback is important is because, like, I go back to that example from the kid who really had a huge ego at a CST, cadet summer training. Man, you don't want to have happen what happened to him. And what I mean by that is like, hey, everyone gives up on your goal. Everyone abandons your mission. They're there, but they're checked out, or they start calling in sick, or they don't want to support you. They're actively trying to sabotage what's going on. I just don't want that as a leader. I wouldn't want that in any organization because it just shows me that you have someone at the top or something within. You have a cancer and you're letting it roam wild and you're not controlling it. So what feedback does is it's in a form of accountability. It's an accountability across the board. Now, feedback is great. It's what you do with it. Yeah. Because you get feedback all the time. Scouting reports, you get evaluations, you get grade letters in classes. Feedback comes all the time. What do you do with it? People most of the time give an excuse. Why don't you have an A? Well, I kind of messed off on this assignment. I didn't really care. Okay, now you have a B. Yeah. Right. So it's like, okay, man, like that's your excuse. That's what you did with your feedback. What are you gonna do with it next time? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Okay, if that works for you, man. So it's what you do with the feedback. Truly, going to like a personal level, me as a person, what feels good to me is making sure people like that work with me, or you've been a teammate of mine, you've worked with me, we've hung out together, and in any of those spheres, right, personal, professional, or having like serious like a heart to heart, is like. I never want you to walk away and go, man, that guy's an a-hole, man. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to listen to him. I don't want Noah around, yada, yada, yada. Is that a personal thing for me? Of course. I don't want to be I want to be the guy that is the reason why you want to come to work today, you know? And I've always tried to do that, man, whether it's through humor, whether it's through like conversations, man, like you and I, like we sat at the USF game, we start calling. Facts. Yeah, we just start calling. Like, I'm like, I have formation A, they're going to do this. You're like, I know. I'm like, what you going to do as the outside backer? You're like, you start going into it. So, yeah. So, I mean, as a personal thing, man, I don't want anyone to walk away from a conversation with me ever feeling like, you know, I did them wrong, or like, wow, that guy's a total like POS. Like, I just don't want to hang out with that guy. It's like, no, I'd rather you, if you don't like me, you don't like me, but like, I'd rather that be a you thing than a me thing.
Exactly.
So 100%. Feedback is what keeps me here. Like, okay, it's a balance, right? Don't go and try to do everything that everyone tells you to do, but at the same time, hey, listen to what they're saying, because you might be able to fix your behavior.
Yeah, dude, that's so huge. And so my what I wanted to say on that too is it's kind of similar to you. But I mean, I think you put it excellent. But feedback too, and how it relates back to confidence, is that when you receive feedback over something, you now know what you are doing bad. That you listen, sometimes you could be doing something that you have intentions of doing good by, and you seriously think that what I'm doing is good, but that doesn't matter if everybody else thinks that is ruining the team and it's being a cancer. Yeah. And that's where feedback comes into a huge play as, where it's like, okay, yeah, I see what you're trying to do, and I understand it's coming from a good heart, right? But the team is saying this, like, you need to work on this, that, and the third. Absolutely. All right. Yeah. And where you have to take your ego out of it is where you're like, okay, I'm just a human being, and I know that I mess up. 2, you have to also have the heart to actually want to make the lives of others that you are working with better. You have to, and then again, like you said in the beginning, you have to kind of take yourself out of that thought bubble of, I'm a leader and I must do everything perfectly and I must look this certain way. You have to detach yourself from that and say, like, just give me what I need to work on, because I'm so mission focused. I'm so focused on the betterment of those that I'm working with or for, that it doesn't matter how I look. It doesn't matter how I feel. I just need to make sure that we are producing at the highest rate possible. Yeah. And that's where feedback will come in at. And that's how feedback, because now you have that feedback to now move forward. And on top of that, because you have that feedback to move forward, you can move forward in a better direction. And you can move confidently, because I know for a fact, y'all told me I need to work on this. This has gotten it. Then you can ask them, well, has this gotten better? Then they could say it has or it hasn't. If it has, you can walk a little more confidence, like, you know what I mean? I'm doing right. Then the rest of your team's going to look at you and not think of you as like a piece of crap, because now they're like, man, he listened to what we had to say. Yes. He took it, he internalized it, and now he's acting on it. Yeah. And now we are moving more efficiently, we're moving better, and we're moving further ultimately. Right. And you move with confidence. So it's a win-win-win situation all the way around, just because you were able to take ego out the door and you were willing to take feedback, internalize it, and be so mission focused and people focused. And so that's why I wanted to share on that. No, why feedback is super important. I just want to add to that point of view.
Yeah, no, you hit it right on the head, man, because sometimes you don't know if you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, I'm just being me, being funny. And it's like, oh, hey.
Maybe this ain't time place for this. Or, so and I want to say that too, is like, if someone's giving you feedback, don't take it to heart. I'm the last guy to ever take feedback to heart, mainly because of how my upbringing, like my parents always taught me, like, you know, why are you looking that way? I'm giving you feedback to get better. You clenching up your fists, you balling up your face, like you want to fight. Like, my parents are like that. They're like, you want to fight? Like, come on, like, we'll fight, we'll box.
You feel foggy drunk,
But the lesson behind that was, you can't, like, you gotta take your ego, you gotta leave your, like we said the last episode, right? With me and you, is like, you gotta leave your ego at the door, like my coach always said. And that when my coach brung that into play with everything that we had with football, that connected all the dots for me, what my parents were trying to tell me and what I was being coached on, with being the team leader of the football team and just being a player. All that connected. I was like, leave your ego. That makes so much sense now. I have to be willing to drop my ego, so then that way we can become better. Because ego is a self-defense mechanism, only meant to defend and hurt you. And a lot of people think that if I put up this barrier, if I put up this wall between me and you, I'm protected. I'm protecting myself. But you may be protecting yourself in that moment, right? But bro, you're hurting everybody else on the outside, and you're hurting yourself, because how you know you doing good at something? Like, how are you expecting yourself to be good at something, but you're not willing to be coached?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it hurts you long term.
100%.
You get defensive, you shell up. You just long term, someone's gonna be like, I don't want to work with him.
Yeah, bro, 100%. And again, not all. I just want to say that because that connects right back into your point of what you were saying. So just to kind of put it into a little bit more of a perspective bubble for you guys, because I'm always trying to make things as understandable as possible.
Yeah, I love sports references. So like, people always like. Some people are like, no, I'm like, oh, all right.
I ain't gonna lie, that's something I've been battling with too, because a lot of times I have to stop myself from making sports references. Cause I'm like, I know a lot of people don't watch sports. They don't grow up with sports. So I have to make a lot of job references. I say not something that people do is
That's
they
true.
Work.
It's true.
So I gotta make that reference.
That's true, man. Yeah, I gotta relate more to like my younger high school careers versus like now.
Yeah. Because I'm like, bro, because like. I feel like if I don't put it in that sense, I'm not relating to them. And then, like you said, it goes over so many more people's heads. Yeah. Like I don't even know what a touchdown is. It's like sometimes I'd be like, you don't know what a touchdown is?
Yeah. Or like last time we're talking about like Tampa too. I'm like someone's like, yo, there's 2 Tampas. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe, but not that way. No.
You look at them like, nah, dude, that's a freaking like defensive play.
Yeah, bro. That's a
defense
has plays.
Yeah, they be like, they doing cover 9. Cover 9. Wait, what? You talking about cloud 9?
Yeah,
not bro. So it's like
dime nickel. People don't.
It's like, oh, you got a nickel? Hey, I use that, brother.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You know, Brett Favre didn't know what a nickel or dime defense was. Like like 6-7 years in.
Word?
He'd already been won an MVP. I'm pretty sure by this point.
So
he pulled someone. They had an old school vet.
He won an MVP not knowing that?
He won 3 straight MVPs. I'm pretty sure. And he won a Super Bowl, and then he took him to the Super Bowl, and then the Broncos won. Yeah, I think he won straight.
So where did he find it? He found it out after doing all that,
or like in between. It was probably in that little run, or maybe even after. But he pulled someone aside, like an old school quarterback they had, and because he was embarrassed to ask, because he kept hearing like, yo, like defense, nickel, or like, hey, they got dime on the field, right? Yeah. And he was like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
So he pulls his boy aside, like when they're not on the field, and he's like, hey man, what's a nickel defense? And he starts looking. He's like, Brett, shut up, man. Like I don't like you know, you know, bro. And he's like, no, I'm dead serious. Bro. Like what's a nickel and dime defense? He goes, a nickel just means they have an extra defensive back, and then the dime means they have a 6th defensive back, and they just dropped out some other people. And he was like, oh, that's all that means? Oh, okay. He's like, it doesn't matter to me,
bro. That's crazy. That's a gift.
He's a Hall of Famer.
You even know that you okay?
He's a Hall of Famer.
That makes me mad. That makes me, because it took me 2 years to know, like, to understand the defense. And it took this man not even knowing nickel or dime defense for him to just be
slinging it. Who's open?
That makes me mad.
Sling it.
That makes me mad.
Yeah, I have to, dude. If it makes you mad, it makes me heated, brother. Oh my god, dude. I have to be so heads up when I play, because I'm not as quick or athletic as some other people, dude. So like I have to be in the right position, the right time, the right coverage. And if I'm not, Stevens is dancing on me in the end zone.
That man there.
Hate you, bro.
Oh man, that man there. Man,
it's all right. I got him a couple times. You know what's up, bro. You know what's up.
I still have beef with you, bro. I don't know if he's watching this video.
No. He has 1.5 million followers.
Yeah, no facts. I'm gonna send this little piece to him. I'm mad at you, bro.
Please do.
I'm mad at you because
I beat you on the golf course.
Bro. I need my rematch with you. You called me a non-factor. In the fall, when we were playing, I remember that. But when we were playing frisbee, he called me a non-factor. I went home and looked up what is a non-factor. It sounds so negative. I was like, I kind of know what this is,
bro. His insults are wild. He told me that. He told me that. He was like, bro. Every time I play Rentz, man, it's like he brings something out of me. I'm like, bro, like, you all right? He's like, nah, bro. He talks. I'm like, I know he talks. It's fun. He goes like, nah, bro. He's a non-factor.
I'm like, yo. We need a rematch. I'm gonna show you how much of a non-factor I am. All right,
he's getting old, man. He's getting
old man.
Old man knees. Yeah, that's right. Get back on track.
But I want to switch gears.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Because we have about maybe 30 minutes left.
Okay.
So I want to switch gears. I want to talk about how the heck do you get these sponsorships, bro? Like, cause now this side of the episode is going to be a little bit more
like X's and O's.
It's going to be more X's and O's, but it's also going to be more selfish, because I want to know this for myself, right?
Okay.
How do you get so many sponsors? Because seriously, like, and this is just for me moving into business. because in order for you to get sponsors, you have to be a really good guy at building relationships and keeping relationships. Mm-hmm. How do you do that, bro? How do you do that? Because I don't want to struggle. And I just want to know, like, how do you do it? It's pretty cool.
I appreciate that, man. I'll tell you this for how it was, at least doing it for ROTC, right? When you're wearing the uniform or you're representing a larger body, like you have it on your shirt right now. Yeah. People trust those images. People trust, and it goes into like marketing, what you already learned with research, right? Is like if you have a trusted brand, like I'm wearing Nike. Right. Like if a Nike representative comes up to you and says, "Hey, man, buy this shoe," you're more inclined to buy the shoe. Right. If I'm wearing, a blank shirt, you kind of don't know who I am. Maybe you haven't heard of my shoe company, or maybe it's like it's big over in Europe, and I'm like, and I don't want to throw another shoe company under the bus, but like you just pick one in your head.
No, I got it. I got it.
There you go.
I got you. Adidas. Adidas.
Hey, USF sponsored by Adidas. I kind of have to ride with the Bulls there.
Listen,
I'm more of a Nike cat.
I ain't gonna lie. I might have already like blocked off so many blessings by saying that right now.
You did. This is part of the lesson with sponsorships. You don't turn down free money,
bro. Listen. I'm joking. I got Adidas slides on right now. Are these Nike slides?
Those are Nike.
Nah, we gonna cut that part out. We gonna cut that part out.
Nike sponsor me. I'm wearing Nike shoes, Nike shirts, shorts, underwear.
I'm wearing the Nike watch. Like what's going? It was Apple, but it's Nike on it. Anyways.
He just tried to put an Adidas slide on screen. But
I thought it was Adidas I was wearing.
Yes, that's messed up. I don't switch up on my brands.
Hey, we gonna cut that out.
I don't switch up on my brands.
We gonna cut that part out.
That's funny. Anyways, no. So yeah, when you're wearing like a uniform or you're part of a trusted organization, man, people have a little bit more tendency, a little bit more like understanding about who you are, who you're working with. They trust it, right? Mm-hmm. So with that. It's a little easier to knock on some doors and get into those doors, right? So for me, with this project, it was actually, like I said, I went and I talked to people who I was immediately working with. So whether that was Stevens or some of the cadre here for the golf event specifically. And then I also had this other guy, Velasquez, but we have a guy who's very connected. He's a very OG vet, has his own company, works for another company. So
he's a great man.
He's a great guy, fantastic. Great man. Will, I love you. You know that.
Yeah.
And
Tolbert?
What's up?
Tolbert?
No. Will Velasquez.
Okay. That's
Tyler's Max.
Got you.
No, yeah. Will was actually the primary donor with his LLC.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Now that's a business decision too, because he ended up getting a tax write-off. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. If you want to cut it
out, it's all over the internet.
Well, it's all
but
right. That's how you do it.
If he doesn't mind it, I would say talk to him after the episode and then let me know.
I think it'd be all right.
I think it'd be.
It's pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, we all know to. It's not an illegal tax off though. That's an actual because you gave away money.
No, it's a charity.
To a government organization.
It was a charity.
So yeah, it's like
it was a club.
That's what I'm saying. So
and you have to watch. Yeah,
it's an actual tax write off.
With school sports, you just gotta be careful when you're not saying like, hey, they donated to the Army. He did not donate to the Army. He donated to USF's leadership club that was associated with the Army. So. You have to know your business too. You know your landscape. So for me, like coming from the business world, like I understood finance. I understand marketing, like how to generate like a nice thing. Like Canva was my best friend, dude. Like all those flyers you saw, all the Excel spreadsheets and stuff like that. That was me.
Yeah, sweet.
Like that was me just sitting down at home. Hey, 10, 15 minutes. Let me just make sure this thing looks good. It doesn't need to be perfect for just distributing amongst cadets. Yeah. If I was going to give this to an official sponsor, hey, we touch it up, take the watermarks out, and all that kind of good stuff. So that was how I approached that kind of stuff. Because you want to come as professional as you can. Right. If you are over delivering what they expect, that's perfect. Because at a college age, I'm 22 years old, right? People don't expect me to come in there. Sir, ma'am, and you get the same thing because you're a very professional guy yourself. I know you speak at like high schools in St. Pete and stuff like that. So you know what I'm talking about, man. They don't expect us at this age to have not only the behavioral aspects of it, but like the business understanding of it. Like, hey, if I come in with some pre-printed out flyers, can you distribute them? Hey, I also have a link. I have QR codes attached to this stuff. Here's a spiel that you guys can have. Here's a little blurb on the back. If you guys want to go ahead and give this out to your classrooms, the teachers can read the blurb. That way, that distribution's now spread out throughout everyone else. It's decentralized. I don't have to be the one giving you the message. The message is going to get to you. It's like mass media marketing. So getting those sponsorships, it's a lot of networking too. Like Will knew people, but you know what I also did is we were over spring break. A lot of people were out having fun, and I had a little bit. But one Tuesday, in specific, I went and hit exit 257, and I hit every dealership. I hit Home Depot, Hooters, a couple other spots. Emailed them, got points of contact. That was tough. I'm not gonna lie, businesses will make it tough. And with the time frame we had, I wish we had more time. I probably would have gotten a little bit more money from those folks. But and it's not about the money. It was more or less like getting the donations for the event. But anyways, we handled it and it was fine. We ended up making money, so that's great. So we got donation money. But yeah, no, like, who does that anymore? Who shows up face to face? And it was funny by the end of it. I mean, I remember the Harley Davidson group looked me in my eye. They were like, "Man, you sound rehearsed, bro. Like, this you sound like you've done this." I was like, "Yo, may have done this a time or two, man, but no, I'm just me." This is exciting.
So I need to know, like, how does that from beginning to end? How does that process look like? I have so many questions.
Ask away, man. I know you have an hour, but let's dude,
man,
look, go over the hour.
Yeah, you got all my time. We might have to go over because I have so many. So I want to know first, the beginning to end. Like, how does it look? Like, I'm talking about from the moment you're sitting in bed, you're just thinking at night, like, how can I get this? Like, from beginning to end, why do you want to get sponsorships? What is like your thought process to that all the way to the end? And then when you're going to these businesses, is it, you like giving them like a full, presentation of it, or like I have so many. I want to first you answer from beginning to end. How I got you.
Yeah, donations are a little easier, so I can talk the business aspect of like how I would pitch a business to somebody, but the donations part's a little easier. Now, how I got here was actually incidental. So they gave out assignments in the senior class, and you'll get this too, especially if you have our current PMS. You'll get your assignments at the beginning of semester, and everyone has a job, everyone has a role, which I love. It's a team build thing. It's like everyone has a responsibility. Do your job, right?
Yep.
One of my events was the golf event. We have an annual golf event. Here was the challenge. Our golf course got canceled. It's shut down. It hasn't been operational.
Oh yeah, that's
trust
right.
me.
They're knocking it down or something, right?
Yep. They didn't get enough business. Yeah. So they literally just kind of looked at me. They're like, I mean, if it dies, it dies. But like, you figure it out. And I was like, whoa, okay.
That's a hard one. Yeah.
Right. So now I've been playing around this area since I was 8 years old. But I'm not like I played like once a year for quite a few, or maybe not even, But I've been playing since I was 8, so I've experienced some golf courses. Now, I had thank God Stevens and I had went down to McDill, and I appreciate the Bay Palms Golf Complex. I actually just wrote them a thank you email, which I'll get to the follow up of like how you get continued business. So we had gone down there. I saw their course. I saw their facility, and I liked it. But we had a couple other options. Like he and I drove around one day. We got options. We got prices, quotes, and essentially we did have a pitch, but it wasn't anything big. It was like, hey, we're shopping around. We're trying to look for courses and venues that might be able to host our annual golf scramble. Would you be able to, and would you be interested? And a lot of places say like, yes, we're able and we're interested. We like helping the armed forces. It's just one of those things. It's like, that's cool. Great. They also like helping schools. So like the fact that it was an ROTC program at a local college was like fantastic for these guys. Great PR. And that you have to understand your leverage too. That was my big thing, is because I know our Instagram page is huge. Yeah. Right. I know Nuendo did a great job with that thing.
Did an amazing job. Yeah.
So I texted him. I said, send me the stats. Send me like our shares. Send me our most popular videos. Send me everything like that. Send me the aggregate number of views. So not only on our page, but on other people's shared pages. Once you have that number, it's really, and dude, aggregate, you just throw that word in there. Hey, this is the aggregate amount of views. And then once you have a nice number sitting there, people go like, well, I don't care if it's aggregate. Like, that's a lot of views, right? So it entices a business. I'll tell you what, we almost had a deal with a golf course, and unfortunately, they're funneling money. It was the one I actually grew up playing on. They were in a situation where they're funneling money, so it is what it is. It's okay.
Yeah. Right.
But when I was in that meeting, right, it was just me, showed up, dressed nice. And I started pitching, and I had my stats. I had everything. I had a little, like a little flyer or whatever for him to look at and stuff like that. But really, it's just a conversation. It's not. I'm not here to PowerPoint you to death. What I'm trying to do is just get you an understanding of what I'm here for, right? I can walk out the door today and be happy, or we can sit here and we can have this conversation, and maybe I'm even happier, right? So don't worry about it. So when I go in there, I sold them on the PR stuff, and they were like, man, like I remember him literally saying, he was like, man, I got to pitch this to a board. That's the only thing. It's like, it's not like a yes or no from me. It has to get voted on. Unfortunately, they just made the decision like, hey, bro, we're going to lose too much money, because I knew my price. I knew what I was asking for. And incidentally, here's how I came to the sponsorship idea. When McDill was our first choice.
Yeah,
because military. Military affiliation. Yeah, it was easy.
We do most of our stuff with them too.
Yeah,
some
and
of
they're
our events,
super professional.
Right.
Like that. I know you didn't go that day, but dude, I went and I had a great time, and it was awesome. Sweet. Like they had individualized like name cards. They had a whole check-in table for us. Wow. They had club rentals out for us and stuff like that. They were very awesome. They had a whole presentation. They had carts, literally our carts, team names, placards, and everything like that set up just for us in line, in order. So all you had to do is just go check in. They tell you what cart it is, and they tell you what table it is, and they escort you out to your hole.
Wow.
Professional, right? I had to understand that before making that decision. I was like, what am I going to get from you guys? I'm getting a course, but what else am I getting, right? So understand what you want from a business.
Okay.
And then that way you can have that conversation of like, it's okay to ask for stuff. If they say no, they say no. Just know your worth. Right. So if it's a thing that like it's a make or break part of your deal, then understand that. If not, no big deal. So when I was initially doing the pricing, they quoted us 35. So that's a
35,000.
3,500 per golfer.
$35 per golfer.
$35 per golfer.
Okay.
So I broke that down. Right. We're on 4-person teams. At golf scramble.
How many golfers were there?
We ended up with like 50.
So 30.
Almost. Yeah. It was. So the total number was about.
So about $1,500.
Yeah. It was.
It's about 1,500.
Yeah, it was about 15. It was more towards 16.
16.
But we ended up paying for club rentals because we had so much pro bono money from from the sponsorships that we were able to pay for club rentals because some kids didn't have anything.
Wow.
So we were able to get some kids some stuff, and that was nice.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we did is I was like, okay, well, in order to get that many golfers, because you understand, like as a college student, and it's hard. Like you don't always have money.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I want to undersell the college kids. I want them to pay like 10 or 15 bucks. And we settled on 15. And I was like, okay, so that means I have to make up $20 at $20 times, all right. So Cadre, we're like a team of 5. So let's just say we had 55, 50 times 20, right?
Yeah.
I had to make up that money.
So the $1,000 you had to make up a little over $1,000.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Hold on.
So you're seeing how the math is telling me what to do. I'm
seeing it. So hold on. Because you just gave a lot. So I want
to,
before we move on to the next couple steps. So the first step that you did is that you first had to find out. Okay, so from the very beginning, you got the event, right? You're like, okay, this is the event that we have to do. And then you had to go out and look for different places that's going to offer you. So you had to first look for who's going to host us.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like when you did that, instead of you going online and calling, now if you did call, did you call at all?
Only as a follow-up. I went in person first time every time.
So the first time you went in person, went to the businesses and said, hey, we're having this event for RTC. This is why we're doing it. And now would this already be like a setup meeting? Would this like a cold setup?
Cold visit.
You just cold visit.
They don't know I'm coming.
So when you go into these businesses, are you asking, because you go to the front, right? And I imagine you probably ask for the manager, or are you asking for someone different?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll call ahead just to get a manager's name.
Okay.
And what days they're in. Okay. That's how I did it for McGill. Okay. Hey, who's your blah 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 blah, right? Who's my point of contact for this? I'm interested in doing this. Okay. Who is it?
Okay.
Coincidentally, I happen to be coming off of a hole of golf.
Okay.
With Stevens. He left, and I was like, I'm gonna go ask him questions real quick. Yeah. So I went inside, talked a little bit, and then they were like, "Oh, they gave me a business card." Which business cards are huge, man. Like once you actually have an established business, please, man, give out business cards. They're so important because I couldn't reach out to all those people without having their information, and I did not want to write it all down or take it all on my phone just because
it's annoying.
It's annoying, and a business card kind of like a little bit personal. But anyways, no, the guy gave me the manager's name. I said, "Cool." Gave me when she was going to be there next. I said, awesome. So then I set up a meeting. I called her on the phone, and then I came in person. But most of our stuff was over the phone after that point, just because it was like it's 45 minutes away. Yeah, it's 45 minutes away, and she's working, so I don't want to just come in there and just blow up her office. But yeah, I found a good time, and then email communication was super important.
Okay.
So yeah, so those two things after my face-to-face.
So after your initial face-to-face, okay. Yeah. And so then like you said, most of those businesses were like, yeah, we would love to help out, armed forces and support schools. Okay, cool. So then once you got that confirmation, then you had to go back to look, because now you know the information that they're looking for. So when you go to this initial code visit, are you asking them what are the things they want to know, or are you already knowing this going in? Like I know what the things they want to see.
For finding a venue, what I said was, would you be interested in hosting our event?
Okay.
What is your price?
Okay.
then I'd negotiate the price. Some of them, like McDill, they were like, dude, it's a flat rate. This is the best we can do. Now, after shopping around, they were the best price.
Okay.
But it was non-negotiable.
Okay.
Now, you also had to know your leverage because they initially were going to charge us 55, and I was like, no. I play the South course all the time.
5,500 or
no, 55 per golfer again.
50. Okay,
55
okay.
per golfer.
Okay, so you're
I'm
talking
just
in
talking
terms
about price
of
per unit.
Price per
unit.
Got you.
55 per golfer compared to 35, and I was like, okay,
wow.
Why is one? I play the South course all the time, and it's only $30. Why is it $5 extra? Don't be afraid to ask those questions. She was like, you're right. That's the tournament charge fee, right? Which I understand now. I see what it all goes to, all the printing, all the other stuff. I understand on their end. They got to clear their overhead and make a profit.
Yeah.
Got it. I just want to know what the $5 is for. Yeah. Why are you trying to suggest 55 when I play it for 30? Oh, most people want the other, like the pro course. I'm like, we don't want the pro course. I don't have pro golfers.
Yeah.
I have kids who have never swung a golf club out there before. Give me the amateur course. They go, oh, most people don't want it. I'm like, I'll take it.
That's so good, and
because people will try to make $1 when $1 is not necessary.
But you have to learn how to ask the right questions.
Yeah,
because you would never figure that. You would
do
recon.
You
would have thought we were just getting a regular golf course.
Yeah. Well, no, do your recon. Play the course. Like for that example, go play the course. Do you like it? Is it a good course? Right?
Yes,
like that's like I just
good.
had the convenience of just going out there with a friend and being like, okay, this is like a nice feel, right? It's kind of like, boys, I'm going to put you on game real quick, and I need you to lock in for a minute. If you were going to take a girl on a date, you need to go check out the dang restaurant yourself. You need to look at the menu yourself. You need to taste the food yourself. You need to take a friend there and see what the vibe is like. You need to see what the traffic is like getting there. You need to see what the traffic's like getting home. You need to know the times, the temperature, all that kind of stuff. You need to be a freaking Renaissance man and show these girls some chivalry.
Most people aren't doing that.
No, but I am, so hit me up. Now. No, but in all seriousness, I will do that.
Yeah,
I go do that because it's important, because I want the date to be a good experience, because I want to be comfortable in the environment. I don't need to know the waiters and waitresses' names. I don't need to know the managers' names for like something like that. Yeah. But when you're going out and set up a business venture, dude, go get comfortable with the environment that you're planning or anticipating on being in. Yeah. It's fine. It's free. It's America. Go do your thing, bro. That's good. Yeah. So that's what I did. So I went down there, golfed, and I asked my questions, and then they gave me the 35, non-negotiable. I said, good. I'm not going to book with you guys yet. Oh. I told them I'm not going to book with you because I just want some more time. I got to debate it a little bit. So all that did was just buy me more time to find the money. Right. I knew they were going to be the best option. But before I had any serious edge with funding, whether the event was actually going to go through or not, I didn't confirm anything because I didn't want to be on their books. And then all of a sudden I waste a day. I didn't want to waste a day on them. So finally we got the money through the donations. And how I did that was, like I said, door to door and then networking. Will, with his LLC, donated a lot. We also had an alumni person from here. Sweet. Keel and Curly Wines. Thank you.
Shout out.
Thank you.
Shout out.
They sponsored a team. And I also knew what my price point was, what was comfortable for a business. Like I gave him a suggested point of 200 because that was going to cover the 4 golfers plus club rentals, right? And I adjusted my plan because I was like, okay, I'm not going to get as many yeses, but the yeses that I do need, they need to be big fish. Yep. Right. So if I'm getting, if I get like only 6 yeses, but they all say yes to $200, I got my 1,200.
That's 100.
Right, so you just got to break it down like math, like in an NBA game. I know, like Jordan would talk to young cats when they were coming in the league, and they'd be like, "Hey man, like, how do you lead the league in scoring? How do I average 30 in a game?" They break it down by quarter, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Like bro, like if you're not walking away with 7 1/4 plus some, what are you doing?
You're not gonna get that. Yeah,
right,
that's true. You got to break down to the simplest terms.
Right, and I'm a numbers guy by nature, so like, I want to think of the game like that. Now, whether it's in a competitive environment or a business environment. While I'm actually doing the things I'm not going to be counting. Right. But I need to know at these little milestones that I hit my number. Okay. And if I hit my number, I'm happy. If I didn't, I got to make up for it. And then if I'm not, and I always try to go over anyway so that I have a cushion to fall back on. So if we got more money, guess what? That's general funding for the program. And I never lied to those businesses. That's a big thing with like charity stuff. You can't lie. You can't say, hey, the funding's for this. And
gotta have some integrity, man, because they're giving up money, their hard-earned money, that they have.
But legality wise, you also have to make sure that you're not telling anyone that, hey, the funding's for this, but it actually ends up going to this. So I had to be careful with that. So what I did was, like, hey, this is primarily for the golf scramble, and it did. It all went to the golf scramble, but we also have general funding that we need help for with senior trips, merchandise sales, all this other stuff. So there were other things that I was like, hey, this is also what your money's gonna be going towards. Please, and here's how you really entice them is you give them your socials. You give them like, hey, follow us on Instagram. You're gonna see us. You're gonna see what your money goes towards. You're gonna see the products that we have.
I think I see where it's going. And that's when you give, is that where you give them the Instagram? Like, hey, this is our numbers for Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's does this come into like
when I'm asking
before part?
When I'm asking for the money, I have to position myself, again, leverage. I'm going to give them why they should. I have to give them the why. Okay. So the why is like the Instagram numbers. The Instagram numbers leads to the why. See. So like, hey, you're going to get 55,000 shares just because you're on our page. You should do this because this is good PR for you. That's the why. Give them the what, then the why, and then you'll be able to say, okay, cool. On the back end here, actually, you should follow us. Like, hey, whether they say yes or no, you go, hey, cool. Well, if you ever think about it in the future, or thank you for your donation, here's our socials. You should really follow us. Yeah. And by the way, the next step is invite them to the next formal event. If it's not going to be the golf scramble, I invited Keel and Curly Wines to the commission, and guess what? They said yes.
Sweet.
So they're coming.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. So you have that relationship, and now you have to continue that relationship. Right. So whoever takes over my job next, I'm going to have to be like, dude, you need to take
important relationship. Yeah.
Right. You need to keep reaching out to these people.
Okay. I love this. I love this. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. So you went to the businesses. You told them, hey, you went to the golf courses.
Yeah.
And you were like just proposing something to them, right? You got a couple yeses, a couple of no's.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you were like, okay, now the next thing I need to do is go to the sponsors because now I need the money, right? Once you have the prices from the golf course.
Yeah, once I got the price, that was where I started asking for the donations from the sponsors.
So you went to sponsors next, right? And you got the sponsors from people like Will,
yep.
Right? Amazing. Thank you for that. Huge shout out to him, man. And then you went to other sponsors and things like that, and then you were able to pitch them. I would almost, it may be different, but sounds like almost the same thing you pitched to the golf course. Like, hey, this is what we're doing. But to them, it's a little bit more personal. Like, this is going to help you out. For these reasons, also going to help us out. This is why I think you should invest into us.
Yeah. That was part of the venue pitch as well. Was like, hey, like we're a good program. We're a D1 program. We're local. We do a lot of stuff with you guys.
Okay.
This should be a continual.
The whole time you're just selling the program.
I am.
Yeah,
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm on, and I am a representative of that program as your sales force, and you know that.
Right.
You're a representative of whatever business you're at. If you work at McDonald's, bro, there's a reason they have you in a uniform with standards. It doesn't matter. You need to be a representative of that big idea. So when 100%. I came into this office, man, I was dressed up. I looked good. I smelled good. I talked well. You know,
please smell good.
That's a big pet peeve of mine, bro. I invest in my my hygiene, bro. Like I got like a year or 2 years worth of Duke Cannon soap at my house and deodorant. That's no joke. I mean, Christmas presents,
bro. Like you got, bro. Some people don't be like they look good the moment they speak or the moment they come around you. It's like, yo. You ate a dead horse, or you've been inside one.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, what's up?
Can I tell you a story? Do you know why I chew gum to this day?
Why is that?
So there is a girl. Maybe I told this on the last podcast, but if I did, I don't care. I'll tell it again. She murdered my feelings in 7th grade. I won't say her name, even though I should. No,
she know who she is when she sees.
She probably doesn't, dude. She follows me on Instagram. It's all right. No, but. So I was in 7th grade, man, and you know, growing up here, like, and school lunch is everywhere. Everyone can kind of relate. School lunch was like, you know, hit or miss. But in Florida, we had those little juice pouches, like the plastic ones. They were like,
I know you talking about those little bubble things,
little bubbly things. Yeah, you could like throw them, pop them on people. Yeah,
we used to make them little air bubbles inside of them.
Yeah, friends were mean, but no, but like, and the juice was never. It was like. Grape juice, apple juice, or this, and it was never high quality.
It was one gulp too.
Yeah, it was never high quality. Or they put that little coffee straw through it. That's how you're supposed to drink it, and it was always bad.
Did that. Everybody just bit off the corner.
Everyone bit off the corner and did that. Yeah, you know. So, and you know the boy back in the day. I'm just like I am right now. I'm at the lunch table. I'm cutting it up. I'm having a good time. I'm telling jokes. You know what I mean? Trying to be a little Dave Chappelle, just the Caucasian version. So no, I'm cutting it up, and in the next period we have language arts. Which is also / a debate class, which is interesting. I actually really appreciate that. Shout out Miss Carosa, I appreciate you. So we had like a little debate planned for that day. So I come in, and mind you, I just probably had like whatever school lunch, but I killed like 2 juice packs of apple juice, right? And then like I got like cotton mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I'm not really thinking about it because you're a kid, and that's what I have every day. So I go in there. Now my crush She's a girl. She broke my heart. Damn it. But no, she's sitting across from me. She's probably sitting probably where the camera is to us.
Yeah.
And we're having this debate, and somehow her and I end up on opposite ends of the debate. This is actually before the class really even gets into the debate. Mm-hmm. So her and I are talking, and somehow we're on opposite ends, and and we're going back and forth. And bro, I'm laying in there, I'm giving her some good points. I'm like, yeah, you know how. And when you're a kid, you're mean to the one you have a crush on.
Yeah.
Dude,
we thought that was spitting game, but
yeah, you really did though.
I thought you were cooking.
She gotta like me after this, bro. Let me call her ugly one more time.
But I can't believe we thought we was cooking with that, bro.
God bless if I ever have a son, man.
Oh my gosh.
No, but yeah. So I'm sitting and I'm like shooting, and I'm kind of giving it to her, and she looks at me, bro. She just puts her hand out. She goes, "Ugh, your breath is so bad right now."
Oh my,
bro. Inside paralysis. I mean, everything shut down. My stomach was in a different spot, bro. Outside, I'll be surprised. Cool. Yeah. I was like, man, whatever, man. I don't mess with you. You stupid. Yeah. I probably used some profanity, but I was like, man, you stupid. I don't want to hear from you, man. Who gives a hell what you think, bro? Dog, I never used the hall pass. No. I never needed to. I never had to. I was a professional. I came in class. I left class. Right. Dog, I grabbed that hall pass. I went to that water fountain, scrubbed my mouth for 20 minutes, dog. I came back in. I probably looked like I just drank from a dog bowl, dude. I was like, no, she gotta respect me now. But no, dude, yeah. So I always have gum in my mouth. I always have gum nearby. Yeah. If it's not in my backpack, it's in my car. If it's not with me, it's always at a desk or something like that. So yeah, what that goes back to is again, presentation matters.
Yes.
Because either you're gonna lose your crush, your date, or a business opportunity. So never lose any of those three.
Yes, that's facts. Okay, and so then once you get the sponsors to mm-hmm. buy into the vision that you're giving them, mm-hmm. Then what happens next? What happens after that? So, how do you go on?
Yeah, once they're sold on the idea, which most of them get sold on the idea pretty fast, it does come down to a matter of numbers. Okay. Now, a business is a little bit different because you your stuff, you have to sell a product to somebody. Hey, why is this product good? Why should you care? Because there's mm-hmm. a lot of products out there. With a donation, that's going to a good cause. Most of the time they're like, oh, I love the idea already. Mm-hmm. But does it make numerical sense? You have to make it make sense for them. Right. You have to make them have that sacrifice. And again, at the end of the day, they have the decision power. So that's why I got a lot of no's, mm-hmm. But that's okay because I got the yeses that mattered. Right. So what happens there is it's a matter of now you have to have this your payment plan ready to go. Okay. So draft that up before you can. So before I even started pitching, before any of them started sending money, I asked our finance guy, I said, what bank account does mm-hmm. this go to? Mm-hmm. Write me an example check mm-hmm. so I could give them an example check in a PDF form. Mm-hmm. Give me an example check. Give me the other forms of payment, right? Whether it's going to be cash, whether it's going to be Venmo, whether it's going to be this or that. And then I was like, make sure you do your research. If they want to deposit, let's just say $1,000. Mm-hmm. Can they do it on Venmo without giving us a charge? Is Venmo going to take a cut of that? Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden we're at $9.50 because they took a 5%
and now you're short, yeah. Okay.
Right. So I needed to know that. Okay. So I had that payment plan written up. So I had everything. I was like, okay, if you want to write a check, it goes out to this. If you want to give us cash, we can take cash. It'll just be a personal delivery. I'll come get it, or one of my other constituents will come get it. And even then, I included a marketing opportunity. Hey, if we're coming by to pick up cash, we might as well just take some pictures with you guys. We'll show up in uniform. You got free PR. Hey, thanks, owner, for right. You have to be creative with those ideas. Always give them opportunities as much as you're giving yourself opportunities. I'm a naturally creative person, so those ideas just click for me. Okay. Some people you might have to take that and just be like, okay, I have that in my back pocket now. Right. Roll with that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Understandable. And so now once you do that, all right, you come up with the payment plans. You say this is what's it. They pay you, and then does the event just start?
Follow up.
You follow up.
Follow up.
How much of a follow do you give them?
So as soon as they send the money,
hold on. Follow up. Now, are you following up to the businesses and the sponsors, or just one or the other?
So I put them all in the same collection basket. Okay. You know what I mean? Because it all went to the same fund. So it was okay. Now the venue, I waited until after. So I just reached out to them, and I actually got 2 emails back from them today. I wrote them yesterday, but they came back today, and they were very, very, very kind. Okay. Now, and I'll tell you how I formatted my email because I think it's actually important for people to kind of give people the right clout and the right praise. Mm-hmm. But as soon as they sent the money, individual thank yous went out. Personally, hey, we appreciate X, Y, and Z. Thank you so much for doing business with us. please do give us a follow so you can see where your hard-earned money went to. We do appreciate it. We want you to know that this is for a good cause, and we want you to see the fruits of your labor. Additionally, if you would be interested, we have these X, Y, and Z events that you should be able to attend. If you'd like to attend them, we can send you the details immediately.
Okay.
So, and I do have those details on me ready to go. Sweet. You always have to just be prepared ahead of step. And what businesses really appreciate is a fast response, a fast turnaround time, man. Right. There are a lot of people take like 24, 48 hours to get back. Dude, if you hit them back within like a couple minutes, a lot of these people are like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Always put the ball in their court. If they're slow to respond to you, good. You can always follow up. If they're fast to respond to you, then great. Now you have a good communication line. So it doesn't matter.
Get it done quick.
Right. Now, once the event actually happened, I wanted to assess the event. We call them AARs, right? So after an action report. Everyone has their own version of it, whether it's a business or not. Like you have a version of like what happened, what went well, what didn't go well, what would change, what would stay the same, and then recommendations for like the next time, right? So I went into again. I didn't come up with this all on my own. I actually had a cadre member, Major S. He said like, hey man, so for future business, you should probably get their contact info so we can send them a thank you. And I was like, I do have their contact info. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. Then never mind. I said, back in my mind, I was like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go get the next higher ups. So like, not only did I talk to like the person who facilitated the event the day of, that manager, I talked to the director of golf. So I went and got the next higher up. And here's where this follow-up is important. Again, use this if you are telling people thank you, because it really means a lot if you make them look good in front of their boss. So what in my email, I said, I wrote to the director, but I CC'd the manager.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I wrote like hey, we appreciate us in the facilities, and I'm well spoken and well versed with like English, so like I'm proofread everything, but I know how to write a little bit. So I wrote out a really nice email, but I put a specific paragraph in there where I thanked her person. I said I talked about her as if she wasn't going to see the email, but even though I CC'd her in it, I said, hey, thank you so much for, like having this person be part of it. She was phenomenal. She's a great asset to your organization. I hope she stays there because like she's phenomenal. We'd love to do business with you guys again.
Sweet.
So I kind of set up the next time, and I kind of put them, and I just let them know like, hey, for the situation going forward, I'm not going to be here. Like I said, I'm lieutenant now, so like
that's just building relationships.
It is building relationships for the next for you guys, because I want you guys to keep going back there if you can, because if the USF doesn't have a golf course, we have one here now,
right?
So the USF's unofficial one, right? Like that's how you can do it. So that's kind of how I went about it, man. I mean, it's a lot of face to face. It's a lot of doing the old school stuff, because the old school stuff works.
Yes.
Now you have to integrate with new school technology. Like, hey, call ahead so you can get that manager schedule, find out their name, find out some interesting things about them, build commonalities. Good sales relationships is like, hey, bro, like I see you in here. Okay, boys wearing the Inspo Dreams stuff. Hey man, that's some cool shorts, man. Where'd you get those at, bro? And he's like, oh, that's mine. Oh, it's yours, right? You start building commonalities, right? So you have to just be able to do that. Like if you step into someone's office, they got like Duke stuff all over the wall, or they got like Tampa Bay Bucks stuff somewhere. Man, you got some Bucks stuff. Hey man, how about the Bucks, man? Like you excited for the draft? Right? It already happened, but don't matter. Like, you just start building those relationships, man.
Yo, okay, I get it. I think I understand. So that is so important, because like as leaders and as people who want to be successful in this world, we have to know how to build relationships, retain relationships. I think retaining a relationship is just as important. I feel like a lot of people forget that part of a relationship. Like you got the relationship, cool, but what are you doing to keep it? What are you doing to retain that relationship? Because man, I mean, like those are going to come back and just be a huge blessing and like a huge like thanks to the program. You know what I mean? We're gonna be able to come back to that if we handle those relationships right. Like that's gonna be something that we can always have in our back pocket. So just like knowing to retain these relationships, man. But I think that's all the time we got for the day.
That's fine.
I'm gonna let you go. I know you got some more studying to do and stuff like that, man.
One more final tomorrow, bro.
When y'all see this video, he's gonna already be commissioned. He's gonna already be graduated. And so, man, I just want to say thank you for being on the podcast,
having me
bro.
Back, dude. I love being here. You know I do. I love being here. You'll get me on again. I know it. I know it. I got time before I go out to Houston, so we're good.
All right, holla at me then. Holla at me for sure. Yeah. Go ahead and just leave me like a word of wisdom, like a little nugget before you go.
Man, if anything, be yourself, be positive, and always do your best and maintain your word to the best of your ability. And with that in life, you'll go far. And also listen to this guy, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. Follow the boy. I'm out here, so it's all good.
Go ahead and go in the description of the video. I'm gonna have him tagged in there. So go ahead and give him a follow.
You'll see an awesome UNC post, and then you also see a graduation post. So like, there you go.
Yes,
I'm in there. Yes, but yeah. You should follow this guy though. He has like 9 accounts. They're all doing well. So there's good.
9 accounts, crazy. All right, brother. But again, thank you for being on the podcast,
of course, bro.
man.
I appreciate you.
All right, bro. Let's go. We out.
Woo.